Tyler Cronin, 3-bid league. Coach, is that what you meant by mud wrestling?
You know, it's funny because we played pretty good offense for a while. I just felt like we got a little bit tired. They picked it up a little bit as well. You know, you're not going to win too many games when you shoot 29%. Is that what we shot for the game? I think we shot 29%. But we offensive rebounded at a high level and we defended at a high level. And if you do that every single night, you have a chance to win. You know, if you try to outscore people, it doesn't always work out for you because you're going to have some bad offensive nights. But it's hard to win 4 games in 4 days. And it's hard to play great offense when you're a little bit beaten down and tired. We probably didn't play our bench enough either night, and that probably hurt us a little bit. But it was hard because we played from in front the whole game. You know, I think if it was a little bit closer, I probably would have played the bench a little bit more.
We'll stay in that corner in the last row now.
Sam Basil, House of College Hoops. Coach, Danny kind of touched on it, but you know, on social media today, a lot of people were talking about, you know, stories about the last time Duquesne was in the tournament, you know, how long it's been in that gap. Could you talk about, you know, for those fans that have been here for a long time, what this means for them and how you're getting the message out to them?
So when Dave Harper, our athletic director, came and asked me if, you know, I would be interested in the job, my main question was, how badly do you want to win? Because I really wasn't going to leave my hometown where I had a pretty good situation if they really didn't want to win. And so Dave did an unbelievable job of rallying Duquesne, the administration, and then had unbelievable presidential support from Ken Gormley, our president, and our board of trustees. And he convinced me that they really cared about winning. And so, and I also lost two straight championship games at Akron, and my son transferred to Pitt for soccer, so I figured, what the hell, we all might as well come. And I knew it was going to be really challenging because this is a tough league, right? There's a lot of great coaches. You got Hall of Fame guys like Fran Dunphy, and Bob McKillop was in the league, and now his son, and Frank Martin and Archie Miller have been all the way through the NCAA tournament. So I knew it was going to be difficult, but I knew that Dave was serious about winning, and the school was serious about winning. And again, I had the ties because of my dad, and I was proud of the school because how progressive it was when my dad was here, and I just kept hearing in my head, well, you know, my dad's sick of seeing Duquesne losing, and he was still alive at the time. So I said, oh, what the heck, why not?
We'll take next two are on this wall, and then we'll come down here front row. Go ahead.
Keith, the buzzer goes off, clock is 0. What's going through your head in that moment to realize that you've overcome everything that this season has given you to do this?
You know, it's been a difficult year, really, quite honestly. It's been a difficult tenure. Look, I lost more games than I've ever lost in my life 2 years ago. I lost my dad along the way. My wife got breast cancer. It's been hard, you know, but I felt relaxed the whole game. I don't know whether it's because I'm 65 and I'm, you know, not going to coach till I'm 100, but I've been in a lot of championship games. I think we were 7 in a row at Akron, and we lost some of those. I thought I was much tighter in those games than I was in this game. And I felt the whole tournament I was relatively calm. I just got to the point where I just said, heck, it's time to just enjoy the moment. And it's hard when you're a young coach and you're trying to move up and you're trying to win, you're trying to get to the tournament. But I thought it was much easier as a 65-year-old old guy than it was when I was younger.
Stay on that wall. Go ahead.
Coach, how important was Natchez' game today off the bench? He had a pretty good game, 8 points, I think. What did you see out of his performance and what he's done all season?
That guy is a really good player, and he's just scratching the surface, and he's an unbelievable kid. His work ethic is second to none. He's in there, him and Matoush are in there every single day, hour before practice. And early in the year he had trouble making shots, but he's really good defensively. He's a good team defender. He knows how to play. And with Trey Williams out, you know, he gave us a huge lift. I mean, he played really, really well, but it doesn't surprise me. He deserves what he got. And again, just a wonderful young man, so I'm happy for him.
Come across the room onto this side here in the front row.
Keith, Jack Morgan, Duquesne Student Television. So you guys, at one point, I mean, after the confetti fell, I mean, it seemed like things were really, it was mud wrestling from that point on. How are the games after that 0-5 start where you guys were able to just grind out wins? Those games kind of help prepare you for later down the road in games like this?
There's no question about that. I think, you know, I didn't realize we didn't score for 500 minutes. I just looked at the scoreboard. I didn't really keep track. I felt like we got good shots. We just missed. We had a bunch of easy ones around the rim. They contested a couple. We had some bad luck. We missed open threes. You know, I had to laugh when Day missed the free throw. I actually chuckled to myself because he's the greatest free throw shooter in the world. So I'm thinking, you know, just shows you how crazy this game is, right? And I guess that'd be like Messi missing a penalty kick or something like that. You know, the same type of thing. You know, so I just tried to stay the course just like I did all year. You know, and I think when, again, like I'm fairly experienced, so I just try to stay calm because they're going to feed off of your anxiety or your calmness, and it doesn't do any good to get anxious or tense or scream and yell, which I've done my share of my time, but I just didn't think it was the right moment in this tournament.
We'll stay on this side in row 2 at the end. Go ahead.
Tristan Friedman, Boston Brackets. Coach, one of the changes that was made after the 6-24 season was Drew Joyce coming in as the associate head coach. Since then, back-to-back 20-win seasons and now A-10 tournament, ranking up the top in the defensive categories. Just how much credit do you give him for the turnaround for the program? And do you feel like he's someone that could potentially be the next head coach for Duquesne whenever you feel like it's time for you to move on?
Yeah. You're not going to let me enjoy the moment? You're kicking my ass out already. Look, Drew and I have won a lot of games together. Like, we won 2 state championships together. I probably wouldn't be here. I wouldn't be here sitting here right now if he didn't decide to go to St. V. You know, he's a tough, hard-nosed guy with a big brain. I've been fortunate enough to have some really good coaches with me. Shaka Smart was with me at Akron. Lamont Paris, who just signed a $4 million contract a year, was with me. He was at South Carolina. Jeff Bowles, the coach of Ohio U. And Drew's going to be a top-level coach. Now, we have a lot of good coaches on our staff. Rick McFadden, Terry Wygant, all of them. Ari Stern did an unbelievable job. Andy Allison, they all did a great job. But Drew has had a really good effect on our program. And, you know, when I made the move, it was a difficult decision because guys had been with me a long, long time, and I brought him here because I thought he could really help us, you know, and he evidently he has, right? We've won 44 games in 2 years, so Drew's a winner. He's been a winner his whole life. He's an overachiever. You know, he was just a little guy when I first met him. I call him Little Drew. He gets mad at me. He's almost 40 years old now, so to answer your question, when and if I ever go, I think he'd be a great head coach at Duquesne. And I think Duquesne wouldn't miss a beat. Maybe probably be better.
We'll stay on this side on the aisle in row 3, and then we'll come back across. Go ahead, row 3.
Coach, what was going through your head cutting down the nets? It's been quite some time since you've had that opportunity. What was going through your head cutting down the nets?
You know, just happy for my family and our players and the fans, you know, and Dave Harper and Ken Gormley, you know, all the people that stuck with me when things weren't going great, you know, our players for sure, because they battled through this and really became a good team. So, you know, you get kind of nostalgic. I thought about my dad, my mom, you know, when I thought we had a game won, which for us it's never won. We find some kind of ways to, you know, mess around. But, you know, that's what happens when you get old. You start thinking about everything.
Go across the way, staying in row 3 at the end.
Coach, congratulations. I know there's been a lot of talk about the past 47 years for Duquesne basketball, but I really want to ask you about the past year. You know, you had a 20-win season last year. You lose to Rice in the first round of the CBI. And nearly a year to the day, you're sitting up here, A10 champions. Was there anything that comes to mind? Was there any turning point for you in the past 365 days?
Say the last part again.
Was there any turning point between losing to Rice in the CBI last year and winning the A10 championship today? Was there any moment that you said, "Hey, this is really clicking"? Or?
Well, I think, we're much better defensively than we were last year. I thought we did a much better job towards the end of this year moving the ball than we did at the end of last year. I just think we learned how to win. I thought last year's team was really good at a point, and then RJ Gunn was a little beat up at the end, and Joe Reese was beat up. Brewer was hurt all year. So we really didn't get the best performance we could get by the end of the year. We were a little beaten down. Whereas this team played really good at the end of the year. And we actually had 2 weeks ago, we had a preparation for the A10 tournament because we were gone for 5 days. We played at George Mason. We busted George Mason. And then we stayed and played at VCU. So we were gone 5 days. So I thought this team was built pretty good for the tournament. Because we have good depth, we have really high character guys, and we're old, but our young guys are good. That's the interesting part about the team. So probably a little bit tighter knit, but not all the way. I thought they were pretty tight knit last year. I just didn't think we went into the tournament playing great last year. That's all.
We'll take one more question if there is one. Go here on the aisle.
That's a good teammate there. You could have hogged that microphone.
It's true. Nice dish.
That's the kind of guy you should play for me.
Hi, Jackson Warren from WRHU. Coach, with 18 rebounds from the offense, was that one of the main functions of clutching up the win tonight? Well, today.
When you can't throw it in the ocean, you better offensive rebounder, right? So, it's funny because I didn't realize how many rebounds Fusini Drame had. Now I did notice he got to the offensive boards. I didn't think he had a particularly great game for him, but he made some big plays again when it mattered. And that's one thing about Fusini and Jakob, they go after the ball hard, and I thought that was key, especially when you don't shoot the ball particularly well. If you had told me Jimmy Clark was going to go 2 for 17 and we were going to win, I would have told you were crazy. But the one thing I will tell you is Jimmy Clark asked me before the game, as we were walking a walkthrough this morning, he said, "Coach, can I?" And I said, "Yes." And he said, "Can I guard Max Shulga?" And again, that's Jimmy. So Jimmy only has trouble defensively when he's disengaged and he's bored. When he wants to guard, he can guard anybody in the country. And he did an unbelievable job on him. And we did a good job as a team on him. So, but that's Jim. Jim's capable of doing those type of things.
Okay, Coach, we appreciate you taking the
Thank you.
time.
Thank you, Coach.
I'm gonna take this too.
Based on your Apple Watch, you've got about 238 messages to get back to people.
I always try to answer people.
Selection show is